I'm really dangerous. I've been working real hard. I've been sparring with a lot. I've been sparring with a lot of kids. That's no joke.
I mean, excuse me for interrupting you, but I mean, have you really been training? Let me see that stomach. How's that been? Come on. Come on. All right, it's been a minute since we did this, but show us some combinations, my friend.
My jab, my break in, my speed. I'm not going for no decision. I'm going for a knockout.
By way of Brownsville, Brooklyn, Shoo, Bruce Carrington.
Thank my father, my mother for helping me come in boxing. And I want you to keep on watching me.
The 90th New York Golden Gloves continues.
Showtime! My life never been better. My life been getting better and better.
On fire. Y'all got one of the best shows in the world. So all the fans need to tune on to this show.
Boxing fans, welcome back to another edition of Tell Us About That. I'm your host, On Fire, and I'm here to take you on a thrilling journey through the world of boxing. And joining me on that journey today is an undefeated featherweight by way of Brownsville, Brooklyn, who just under 2 years and 3 months has been named the ESPN and Ring Magazine Prospect of the Year. Please help me in welcoming Bruce Shoo Carrington. Bruce, welcome to the show, my guy.
What is up, man? What is up? It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute since me and you have, touched base and got this interview in, man.
It has been a minute. It has been a long time. For that, I apologize. But I'm back, and I'm glad to have you on my show.
And you are missed. You are missed. All these other guys, they trying to follow in your footsteps, man. You were the main guy back when you were working with BoxingScene.com, getting up all of the up-and-coming fighters, all the big-name fighters, and, man, everybody's just trying to, follow in your footsteps. And I honestly feel like if it wasn't for you, a lot of these guys in the whole media, boxing interview, stuff like that, they wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for you.
And I appreciate the kind words, and I'm humbled by that. And hopefully, upon my return, I could bring that good energy and that good reporting and the good interviews like I've done in the past with you and other big names in the sport of boxing.
For sure, man. We've been excited to have you back around again, man. It's just a matter of time.
So let's talk about it. First things first, Prospect of the Year, ESPN, the Ring Magazine. Tell us about that.
Man, it's a big deal. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, like that. It kind of blew my mind, me getting Prospect of the Year for both ESPN and Ring Magazine. I mean, I honestly don't. I mean, you can check the history books, but I don't really know many boxers that got both of those awards. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty big deal to me, man. I honestly am happy to see that the masses have appreciated my work in the ring, and they noticed my hard work and outside of the ring and everything, and they love my performances to be able to bestow that award on me, and I'm just happy, man. It just really put a lot of inspiration and motivation for me coming up in 2024, and man, I got a lot more to show for y'all.
You have a very storied amateur career, 2017 Golden Gloves, 2020 Olympic trials. You came into your professional career, and 10 fights in, you've yet to fight an opponent with a losing record, which is rare because people start their professional careers fighting guys who they should beat. Tell us about that progression for you and not having those type of opponents.
Well, honestly, for me, I felt like, I wanted to come on the scene as someone that's like, really making a statement, like to show everybody, like, listen, I'm ready for, a certain level of guys, man. I'm ready for that top level. I'm not here to try to like, pussyfoot around and nothing like that. Like I'm here to make a statement, and me coming around, like I'm coming around the same time as like Keyshawn Davis and Tiger Johnson and all these Abdullah Mason, whatever. All these guys coming up, man. They're making big noise, man, and they turned pro before I did, so I kind of knew I had to hit the ground, not necessarily running, but at a pretty decent a sprinting pace to be able to, like, put on a statement to everybody, to where it's like, listen, like, Bruce Shushu Carrington, he's the one to watch. Look how he's beating these guys that has winning records, and he's keep challenging himself each and every time he's in the ring. Like, I want that impression on everybody.
This is your fourth appearance at the Garden. Tell us about that, because you also have a history in the amateurs from the Garden. Tell us about that.
I mean, I will say it's a difference fighting as a pro in the Garden and in the amateurs, for sure. But when I fought in the amateurs, yeah, those Golden Gloves, it was a great experience and everything. But in the pros, I don't know. I just think it just feels like it's such a surreal feeling when you really, like, as a pro fighting in the Garden. I haven't fought in the big room yet. That's like a next thing, that, like, another thing I want to check off the list. But me fighting in a Hulu theater is just like always an ecstatic experience, because all the locals or everybody that's from the town, they all come through and they show me some love, and they go crazy in the crowd and all that. Like, I remember my first time fighting in the Garden as a pro. I fought Yuri Andujar, and I think we went like 5 rounds, and I knocked him out in the fifth. And when I knocked him out, man, like, the crowd was roaring, and I just kind of like got on the ropes and like just stand on the crowd, like, yeah, I'm here, like, I'm here. And that joint went on to be Sports Center top 10, and it went viral all on the internet and stuff like that. Like, man, it's just a beautiful experience just to be able to have moments like that in a MSG, man.
Tell me what it means to you and the hard work it takes to go 5 times in 1 year.
Man, it's a lot of hard work. It's just, honestly, for me, it's kind of like that's my life. I'm always in the gym anyway. I'm always in the gym. I'm always working, and I'm always ready to fight. Just after each fight, and I mean, I take about a week and a half max. You know what I mean? And I'm back. I'm right back in the gym. You never know when you're gonna get that call. Like, yo, we want you to fight on this date. You want you to fight on that date. So, it's just always a thing for me to just stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. But I love fighting. I love fighting, 4 or 5 times a year, just because I learn about myself each and every single time I fight. And I try different things. I critique myself, and any little thing that I lack in, any little thing that I, need to improve, all of that stuff. So I feel like I progress much faster as a fighter when I'm really active like that.
Tell us about how it feels to wear Everlast as the gear that you take into the ring.
You see me? You see me? Everlast is, you know what I mean? I'm wearing Everlast everywhere I go. But, Everlast, man, I've honestly been in touch with them since I was an amateur. And, they've been one of the primary people that I've always had in my mind, before I even turned pro, to work with. So when they open up the opportunities to actually, like, we wanted to, endorse you and sponsor you and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Man, Everlast has just been one of those, you know, like, historic companies, man, to where, like, they freaking have Muhammad Ali, like, you know what I mean? Like, to be working with, Everlast, and they've worked with guys like that, and so many other greats, like Terrence Crawford and so many other people. Man, it's just honestly a dream come true. And they just continue to evolve with time. They've been existing since 1910, over a century. And you know what I mean? So it's just like, I honestly feel like, Everlast, like, they're the best company out right now in terms of, like, the fighters. And, like, I love what they give and stuff like that. I like how they support me, and they help me out, man, in all of my camp stuff. If I need pads or hand wraps, gloves, that joint is sent right to my crib in about a day or two. So they're really helpful, and I like that. I like their work, man.
Tell us about Bob Arum and Top Rank, how they've been instrumental in you being where you are today.
Man, one thing I will say, Top Rank has been extremely satisfying me. Like, they've been very satisfying, because um, they it's not like they have a plan for me, and, like, let's say I had a different plan, they would just go with their plan. Like, we've discussed what my plan is, and that's to not really be like fast track per se, but not necessarily slow either, but at a decent pace to where it's like, you know, I'm not being babied, but not to where it's like I'm just shooting for a world title in my next fight. I want to be able to be built, properly. I want to be able to become a household name, and because of that, I gotta take certain steps, the proper steps to be able to build my brand, build my fan base, and bring the right money to the table and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, this is prize fighting, and I definitely do want to be paid, the right type of money and stuff like that when I'm fighting and whatnot. So especially when I'm fighting certain fighters, like when I start fighting them big names, I definitely want to get paid right. So I want to be able to have that negotiation when with me building up my fan base and stuff like that, and fighting in New York, and planning to sell out these crowds and whatnot. It's time. Time has to be built for all of that. So, but on top, other than that, they really help me out so much, man. Like they look out for me in so many different ways, man. And I can't even really mention, to be honest, but they're a great team. Their camaraderie is awesome. They have a lot of people that I really like, and sometimes even hang out with on their free time. Um, I'm really happy to be on top rank because Bob Arum as well too. Like that's my guy. It's crazy. I didn't even know he was from New York. I knew he was from Brooklyn. I didn't even know. I had no idea until I signed with him, and we was like on the podium, and we was just talking. I think it was around the time when I first signed with them, and we just kind of like making it public. He was just like, yeah, man, I'm right now, Crown Heights, Ebbsfield, da da da. So I'm like, oh, okay, you're from around the way. So it's like real hometown love that I get from Bob Arum whenever I speak to him. You know what I mean? I really like being over there with them though.
Well, when a promoter puts you up 5 times in 1 year, they're doing something for you because that activity has gotten you a ranking in the WBO number 8. Tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah. It was just at number 11, and now it's at number 8, man. Man, I'm just happy about it. I really am happy about it. I feel like it's just my hard work is just being noticed. I put in so much pain in the gym, man, and I really try to you know put on a show each and every single time I'm up in there. And I'm really happy that the WBO has just recognized my work and they put me up at number 8 and stuff like that, man. I really do plan on fighting, the champions. I would say probably like the end of 2024, maybe 2025. Like I want to put myself in position to be like, okay, Bruce Carrington, he deserves, a shot at the title. You know what I mean? I just want to really become champion, man, and unify the division, and continue to take over the world of boxing, man, for real. We're just one step at a time, though, man. We already prospect of the year, ESPN and Ring Magazine, man. We're gonna take over the world, man.
With your number 8 ranking and your quick rise in the rankings, what do you know about the WBO current champion, Rafael Espinoza?
Dude, I honestly didn't know anything about him up until he fought Robeisy Ramirez. But I will tell you, the man has made a fan out of me. That was an amazing showcase that he put on. That was an amazing fight. He put on a good exhibition of his will, his good style, nice power. He's pretty tall for that weight as well too, man. Like I remember when I watched that fight, and at the end of the last round, I was just standing up on my 2 feet clapping. I'm just like, yo, I want to fight him. Like that guy is good. Like I really want to fight him. I'm really impressed by the guy, but I see little things that I would like to expose. I see little things, man, and when the time is right, we're gonna definitely knock on that door for sure. I'm already number 8. It ain't gonna take too long.
February 16th, you're back at the theater of Madison Square Garden. How's preparation without having to know the type of fighter that you'll be facing?
I know the type of guy that I'm facing. I know my opponent. His name is Bernard Torres, but I mean, you know, if that was the case, to answer your question, I mean, I would just prepare. I would just have different type of sparring partners with different styles, and prepare for anything that would be coming my way. Honestly, I would feel like once I prepare like that, then going into the fight, I'll just be open for anything that's just be coming from me, whether if it's a generic textbook boxing style, something speedy, something awkward. I'll be ready for it, you know. But yeah, I have Bernard Angelo Torres. He's 18-1, southpaw. I believe he's from Norway, and pretty good guy, man. Pretty good guy. Only has one defeat on his record, and this is a step up for me. But man, listen, I'm ready right now to step in the ring. I'm just ready to get it on. We just counting down the days and cutting down the weight at this point. But we locked and loaded and ready to go. I'm feeling strong. I'm hurting, you know what I'm saying, my work and my sparring partners. And I'm out here just putting in that work, man. And I honestly just feel like nobody can deal with this Bruce Shushu Carrington of today.
With all your appearances at the Garden, what would it mean to you to one day headline there?
Man, it would mean the world to me, man, because I feel like, that's kind of what it's building up to. Like I've been, fighting early in the card in MSG, then kind of building up to mid card. Now I'm the opener. It's kind of like, building up to that. If things continue to go as they are, you know what I mean? God's will. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully, but yeah, man. I feel like it's kind of building up to that. And it'll just mean the world to me because this is like a dream come true. I didn't seen so many people fight in the Garden and especially in the big room. That's really my goal, to be able to sell out so many tickets down fighting in the big room and then put on a real showcase and become a must see TV superstar, man. I think that everything is kind of building up to that.
Outside of boxing, you had your documentary Brownsville Born, and as well as acting on the movie The Featherweight, where you played a character called Goose. Tell us about that transition from the ring in real life to the ring in an acting capacity.
I mean, well, to be honest, it wasn't that difficult for two reasons. One, I mean, this boxing thing is what I do for my life, so it wasn't really that hard for that transition for me in the acting space. But also for the second reason, I'm really interested in acting. Like I want to really be in a lot of movies. I want to be in different movies, different commercials, and I mean, I do little things with like the skits that I have on Instagram and TikTok or whatnot. But I really have a thing when it comes to acting. Like I'm really interested in it. So um, hopefully, Featherweight is just one of those. The movie Featherweight is one of those door opening opportunities for me down in the future to be able to tackle different movies or different shows or whatnot. You know what I mean? I'm really interested in it.
Your fight being televised on ESPN, I believe that's the first time for you. Tell us about how that makes you feel.
It's a lot of pressure. I will say that, but me, I'm the type of fighter that I embrace it. That's when y'all gonna see the best out of me for real. Like I'm super excited. I've been waiting to fight on TV for the longest, man. I'm seeing some of my stablemates like fighting on TV. I'm seeing Keyshawn Davis, Tiger Johnson, and all these different guys. Richard Torres fighting on ESPN, and I'm just sitting there waiting on my time, waiting on my time. I'm just waiting, and my patience is finally, being rewarded because now I'm finally getting my opportunity. Bro, I'm going to show out for the national television. I'm going to show out for all the people that have not heard of Bruce Shushu Carrington, and I'm making them a fan. Like I remember, I'm hearing a quote from Kobe Bryant. He was saying like how he put 110% effort into every single game he's had because he sometimes think about the people, his fans in a crowd. Sometimes that's like their first time and sometimes might be their only time able to see him play. So I'm like, he can't slack. You know what I mean? You can't slack at all. He got to perform. He got to, play great. And that's the type of mentality that I have. And what I think about every single time I step in the ring, I got to make everybody like get that awe factor, that awe feeling, like that surprise, like, yo, who's this kid? You know what I mean? I want to be able to do that every single time I step in the ring.
So those in attendance and those watching on ESPN, what can they expect from Shushu Bruce Carrington?
you guys can expect a crowd pleasing performance. Each and every time I promise that, and each and every time I deliver. Y'all are gonna get a crowd pleasing performance, and 100% my hand being raised at the end as the winner, without a doubt.
Are you disappointed that the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight is not being rematched?
Nah, nah. Honestly, I'm not disappointed. It is what it is. I honestly didn't want to see a rematch because it's not like it's so many things that come into play with that fight, man. It's like when being that Terrence won, yeah, he won, but everybody's gonna be like, no, this is post car accident, this post da da da. And yeah, it may be a factor into why the fight went the way it did. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I truly believe that the fight would have went that way regardless because stylistically, the fundamentals on that level, Crawford is just outclasses Errol Spence in every single category. He's faster than him. He's shown he's stronger. See, that's the thing. I didn't know that Errol Spence wasn't gonna be as strong as Terrence. Like, I didn't think Terrence was gonna be that strong. Like, Terrence was that. That really surprised me how his punches was affecting Errol Spence that much. I was really surprised, man. But yeah, his strength, his physicality, his technique, the IQ, everything, man. He just beat Errol Spence all in all cylinders in that fight, and I felt like that would have happened regardless. So I saw what I needed to see. I'm not really disappointed on the Errol Spence fight not happening again. But I'm interested on where the next move or the next step is going to be for Terence Crawford, because I feel like I don't know if Canelo's really interested in the fight. Yeah, man, I don't know what other fight that's out there for Terence Crawford. I feel like Boots. They talk about Boots, and I feel like stylistically that's the best fight out there for Terence Crawford right now. But I don't know if Boots has the star power yet to be able to make that fight a big deal for the casual fans. You know what I mean? Boxing fans, that's a treat for us. The real boxing fans, it's a treat for us. But the casual fans, to be able to draw them in, and I don't know. I don't know if that's big enough.
What do you think of Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez?
His chances are actually high, in my opinion, because his style, the way when he's a switch hitter, and he's very smart. He has long arms. I do feel like Canelo, he definitely edges when it comes to the power, though. Without a doubt, he's hurting guys up at 175. He's definitely can hurt guys smaller. So, the power is definitely going to be there for Canelo on his end. But I do feel like people underestimate Terence Crawford's power. Like, he is on a knockout streak for a reason, and he's destroying these guys for a reason. He has this switch that he has when he just decides to end the fight, and he just does. It's crazy, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I feel like there's certain things that Terence Crawford possesses to be able. He'll be able to do well and win the fight with Terence Crawford. With Canelo Alvarez, but I don't know. That fight is still up in the air. But I would root for Terence Crawford though for that.
On the other end of the spectrum, you got Teofimo Lopez challenging Terence Crawford. What do you think of Teofimo's chances, and do you think he can win?
I respect Teal's ambition. You know what I mean? I respect his ambition. I really do feel like I don't like being one of those guys that is like, oh, a fighter can't do this, fight can't do that, because Tio has shut the naysayers up multiple times, man, and throughout his young career, man, and by him being Lomachenko as well too, people was kind of writing him off like, oh, he's just another Lomachenko victim, but he went out and did his thing and got that victory. And then also even with the Josh Taylor thing, he did his thing and outclassed Josh Taylor, like, oh man, just totally made him look like nothing. Tio can surprise you. He can surprise you with his style and with his athleticism. But I do feel like Terence is just a different beast. Terence is just an animal, man. And his experience as well, and his age, and the way he's just grown so well through the years of boxing, and how strong he is and how polished he is. I honestly don't see him slowing down yet. To be honest, I feel like he's getting better, Terrence Crawford. So I still I'm going with Terrence Crawford for that, but I don't know. I feel like Teofimo, he still has that factor to he can't surprise you.
Speaking of Tio, he fights on Super Bowl weekend against Jermaine Ortiz. My question to you is, what do you know about Jermaine Ortiz?
Man, Jermaine, actually, we kind of grew up in the amateurs, to be honest. I'm very familiar with Jermaine, man. He has a pretty aggressive style. He's at times he can get a little reckless, but sometimes that recklessness helps him out a lot in these fights, man. I feel like it helps out with overwhelming his opponents. He has strong will, man, and that's how he gets a lot of these opponents like out of there, or he just beats them. He doesn't really have like that much power, but he has enough to really like kind of like want to break you down. He's always in your face, and you catch him with a good shot or whatever, he's still kind of like there. Like he's one of those like blood and guts type of warrior guys. And a guy like Jermaine Ortiz, you really got to train hard for, man. I hope Tio is I know Tio's working, but I hope he's like continuously pushing that pace with his endurance, because Jermaine Ortiz is going to be in his face the whole night.
Keith Thurman is making a return to the PBC Amazon deal opener on March 30. He's facing Tim Tszyu. What do you think of him facing Tszyu with such an inactivity on his record?
I feel like I mean, it's not the best place for Keith Thurman in this situation. I will say that, but I'm still interested to see how Keith looks. He the only guy he's lost to is Manny Pacquiao. We don't really know if we honestly feel like Keith may be on a decline, on his career, obviously with his age and everything like that, and his inactivity, injuries and whatnot. But we're gonna see. We're gonna get to see what's left in the tank for him. We get to see if we can continue to mix him in with some of the top welterweight guys or whatever in the excuse me, not welterweight, and the top guys in was it 154. 154, and we're going to see if we can be able to still use him, and if he's still going to be an interesting piece of in the chessboard. But I don't know. Tim Tszyu is a tough cookie, man. That's a tough competitor, and he gonna come to work. He's a young guy, and he's ready to. He's willing to take over the division right now. I'm just really interested to see how that fight goes. But Tim Tszyu, he's definitely the favorite in that fight.
There was a lot of back and forth going around on social media with Ryan Garcia fighting Rolly, wanting to fight Devin Haney, wanting to fight Pitbull Cruz. Pitbull Cruz calling out Tank, but then he called out Ryan Garcia. Eventually, Rolly Romero is facing Pitbull Cruz. What do you think about that fight?
Oof, I don't know, man. Like Rolly's awkwardness helps in some cases, but I don't know if it's gonna help in this case. Like Pitbull, he is like that dude is a problem. This is a problem for a lot of people in that weight class or even at 135, because he's so compact, and he's real powerful. He's pretty explosive when he lets some punches go, and I'm really interested to see how Rolly's going to be able to deal with that. Rolly isn't the best when it comes to dealing with pressure. Like I didn't see Rolly like kind of get flustered in those type of moments when he's like it's too much going on, and Pitbull, he's going to apply that pressure. He's going to be all up in his chest throughout the whole fight, ducking low and making Rolly, miss those wide hooks. And it's going to be real interesting to see how that goes. Pitbull is definitely going to bring it to him, man.
IBF champion Jerome Ennis has been calling out Terrence Crawford, but it seems like he's going in with Barrios now. What do you think about that matchup?
Mario Barrios has had a great showcase his last fight with Ugas, and he's made a case for himself at 147, man. I feel like, excuse me, not 147. Was it 147? What did you fight him at Ugas? 147. He fought him at 147. But yeah, he fought him at 147, and he made a good case for himself there. Um, Yeah, that was really surprising. Lucas hasn't been knocked down like that and kind of stopped. So he made a good case for himself. But Boots, man, he's a special talent. I feel like Boots, he's one of those you know generational talents in the sport of boxing when it comes to his type of switch hitting. Like his switch hitting and Terence Crawford's switch hitting is different. Like Boots is like real slick. It's just like instinct. It's just like, natural for him to do the things he does, and it looks effortless. I feel like Bruce definitely edged in this fight, but Mario Barris is going to put up a good fight, but I feel like, I don't know, Boots, his power might break him down.
What can the fans expect from Bruce Carrington 2024?
Oh, man, you guys can expect activity. We are already scheduled to fight 4 or 5 times this year. And man, we're gonna take over the whole world, man. I'm already, starting this year off fighting on TV, and I definitely plan on being on that national television more than once this year. I really feel like this is the year that everybody is kind of got their eyes on me. I got the Prospect of the Year from Ray Magazine and ESPN, so it was like, okay, let's really see if this guy's the real deal. I'm here to cement that, and 2024 is gonna be that big year to do it.
We got our eyes on you. I'll have my eyes on you on February 16 at the Theater of Madison Square Garden. Hope to talk to you right after, and good luck.
Yes, man. One thing I want to put in there, y'all, and anybody who watching this, man, all of my interviews that I had as a little kid, my guy right here is the one that was behind the camera, or sometimes in front of the camera too, but behind the camera doing it all, and what I mean, and giving everybody something to just look back in from the past, man, and just honestly help me out in interviews as well too, man. I really appreciate you. I'm happy you're back. I'm happy to be able to do this. It's a long time coming, and yeah, man, welcome back, dude.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for coming on the show. Hopefully we'll have you on again and again and again like in the past. We can make the whole history of this too, man. Thank you so much, Bruce.
My guy, appreciate you having me.